Before I start today, and I do mention this a couple times in the episode, I want to be very clear that this episode is not about staying in relationships that are harmful or toxic. It's for the ones who left something good because they were scared. We're talking to the avoidants out there today, the ones who are scared of being seen, scared of being loved. If that's you, maybe it's time to stop running from your healing and try letting someone love you while you do it. I know trauma can affect how we receive love and how we view love, but you don't necessarily have to heal completely alone. All right, let's get into it. Hold on to your butts, friends. We're getting into it today. I released an episode a while back about when closure wasn't an option, and the response I've gotten has been good, but I'm really shocked at the amount of grown adult people who have dealt with this. I had a lot of people reaching out asking for more, and I'm not a relationship expert. Let's make that clear. I'm sure you know by now I'm not an expert on anything. It's really wild to think that there's so many people out there that are holding on to this kind of grief and trying to move through it and trying to heal and trying to disconnect from these people that have absolutely devastated them. I'm not talking about your regular amicable breakup. I think that there's a lot of healing in breakups that are amicable, and there aren't any unanswered questions. There's no animosity, and there's space to heal through that. I'm talking about the people who ghost, who fill your heart and your spirit with hope and vanish, who come back when it's convenient for them, when they need an ego boost or they're going through a hard time. So they come back to the person they know will always love them, to feed themselves and to get that comfort. And then they disappear again. That's the real shit. That's the thing that people are really struggling with. And that's the thing that people have asked me to touch on again. So I took some time, and I'm going to get real with the people that need to hear this. This is Mourning, people, the podcast for those of us who are really done with holding space for people who don't reciprocate because they don't do grief right. We're learning. This is for the one who left, the one who maybe felt they had to leave. What does it mean to choose to leave something that might actually have been good? You can love someone deeply and still walk away from them. It doesn't necessarily mean you stop caring. Sometimes people leave because the relationship isn't right for them. Sometimes closeness or vulnerability brings up shit they haven't dealt with yet. Sometimes they don't even fully understand why they're pulling away. And I think that's where you have to get really honest with yourself about what you're actually running from. Maybe there's grief afterward. Maybe there's regret. Maybe you watch them move on and wonder whether you made the right decision. Or maybe you don't. But if you do realize that you walked away from something good because being vulnerable scared the shit out of you, I think that's worth looking at. Not so you can punish yourself for it, but so you understand yourself better the next time love shows up. Maybe you're still learning how to hold yourself. And I'm not here to shame you. I'm not here to say that you're broken beyond repair. I'm here to say that if you recognize a pattern in yourself, if you keep pulling away when relationships become vulnerable, then maybe something is there that is worth working on. Not for the person you left, for you. So the next time you want connection, you're better able to understand what happens inside of you when that connection gets real. You can't lie to yourself. You can't pretend the loss doesn't matter if it does. And maybe you walked away from something good, and maybe you felt like you had to. But that doesn't mean that you can't heal yourself. It means you're in the in-between, and the only way through that is forward. I mentioned in the last episode that I did about this topic that it's your responsibility to heal those things because you're going to continue to hurt people. I've seen it. I see the people reaching out to me talking about this. That episode hit people deeply. And like I said in the intro, these are grown adult people. We have so many people walking amongst us just wounded. And I don't personally know what it's like to feel that impulse to run when somebody gets close to you. So I don't want to pretend I know exactly what's happening inside someone's head. But if you recognize that you keep pulling away from safe relationships because vulnerability scares you, that's worth exploring. You don't necessarily have to become perfectly healed before you're allowed to love somebody. You can do your own work while being loved and supported by somebody else. If you keep repeating these patterns without looking at where that could come from, that's not fair to you, and it's absolutely not fair to the other person when your patterns end up hurting them. And then that person can be left wondering what's wrong with them. Why weren't they enough? Why can't you just love them? They're giving you their entire heart and you just walk away from it instead of looking at yourself and understanding that maybe there is something here you need to heal. And you don't have to do it alone. You might have somebody offering you compassion, stability, and support and still feel the urge to hide. If that's happening, I think it's worth asking yourself why. You don't have to heal in darkness, especially when there's someone there offering you love and wanting to support you while you do your own work. It can be so painful for the other person when they are willing to stay and willing to walk through it with you. That really fucks with people's heads. That's when people internalize it. And I mean, some of us internalize it and we think there's something wrong with us. And again, I want to make it really clear that if you're on the receiving end of this, somebody else's inability to accept or reciprocate the love you're offering does not automatically mean there's something wrong with you. And this isn't clingy, codependent relationships. I'm talking about a grown adult who is willing to support you through your pain in a healthy way, to grow together, to heal alongside each other. Somebody who wants to be with you through your mess because they love you and they can see your worth. Maybe just give it a shot. And I know you might be scared you're going to fuck it up. I know you might be scared you're going to push them away, but giving a healthy relationship a chance while you're doing your own work doesn't automatically mean you're going to fuck it up. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Nobody can promise you that, but fear alone doesn't have to make that decision for you. We're always so scared to show people our hurt. But if somebody is offering you support while you do your own healing, that can mean allowing yourself to be vulnerable with them. It can mean letting somebody see your hurt instead of pretending you're fine. They can't heal those parts of you, but you don't necessarily have to hide them either. And that's a really beautiful opportunity that fear can sometimes stop us from exploring. So do it. Do it for yourself. Heal for yourself, but understand that you don't always have to do that alone. I'm not talking about staying with an abuser. I'm not talking about staying with somebody who's obsessed with you and just can't let go. I'm talking about like an individual who is already doing the work, who sees someone or was with someone who wants to do the work but is too scared and wants to face it alone or not face it at all. This is like a pretty specific situation, but it's something a lot of people have come to me with. So it's sad when someone is so deeply hurt and scared to be seen that they might throw away something like that. And I think a lot of us can relate to that feeling. Did this episode make sense? I have no idea because I usually just ramble on about shit and stuff pops in my head and it comes out of my mouth and I don't even remember what I said in my last sentence. So hopefully this resonates with those of you who needed to hear it today. Thank you for being here, friends. Thank you for doing the work. Thank you for healing yourself. Thank you for the love you give others, even when they can't see it, when they can't hold it. That's a very bold place to be. I think it's a really powerful thing when you have so much love to give that you want to see other people heal. You want to see other people rise above their pain. When you see people for who they truly are, not the mask, not the person they're hiding, you see the person they're hiding. and you love them regardless. I think that's really rare to find in someone. So if you have somebody like that in your life, honestly, cherish that shit. Not because they're the only person who will ever love you that way or because you'll never find it again, but because healthy reciprocal love deserves to be valued while it's actually in front of us. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for helping me build this community. And thank you for your suggestions on episodes to help you heal. Okay, friends, I'm out of here for today. Do a nice calming meditation and just feel the love that's in your body and recognize it and honor it, because one day someone will see it and someone will recognize that, and they'll be willing to hold space for it and reciprocate it. You're not alone. You're a mourning person. Goodbye, my friends.